Hello, welcome to Tricky IELTS. I'm sure you will be fine. Mostly students face challenges in IELTS listening module due to which they are unable to get desired band. In this video, I'll share tricks which will enable you to secure 9 band in IELTS listening module in a short span of time. Practice on the suggested areas in order to score higher band. Stay here and watch this video till the end. Keep in mind, do not skip this video. If you do so, you may lose an important point. The first point which I'm going to share with you is in order to secure 9 band in IELTS listening module, you have to enhance your general listening skills because practice tests will not improve your listening ability. They will only help you to become familiar with the listening test. In order to improve your general listening skills, you have to listen to various documentaries in order to overcome this issue. Keep in mind, you have to listen to British, American and Australian accents on daily basis. If you do so, you'll be able to improve your general listening skills, which will help you in the real IELTS listening test, and you'll be able to secure 9 band. In order to secure 9 band in IELTS listening module, you have to work on contraction. Learn the correct pronunciation of contraction. Mostly native speakers, they use contraction during communication, where non-native speakers are unable to understand. So, in order to understand them well, you have to learn the correct pronunciation of contraction, like they are there, cannot, can't. So, if you do so, you will be able to understand whenever the native speaker are having conversation. So, if you understand, you will be able to target and point out the correct answer. So, you must have to work on contraction. The third point which I'm going to share with you is how to set time. Means mostly students are running short of time during listening test. Keep in mind, during the instruction, try to read the questions and underline keywords. Mostly students, they just carefully listen to the instructions. So you should not do that. You have to underline keywords and you have to read questions in advance. If you do so, you'll face no problem whenever they commence the conversation. Do not review your answers during the test. Mostly students, whenever they just write answers, they just review their answers during the conversation. So you should not do that because you will get extra 10 minutes. Means in which you can review your answer and you can transfer your answer. So means if you want to save your time, so during the instructions, means you have to read questions in advance, and whenever they are having conversation like this, that now you have some time to review your answer. So you should not review your answer. In that time, you should just read other questions in advance. Do not write answers too quickly. Mostly students they fall in this trap because mostly students write answers too quickly, where speakers change answer later on. So be careful because especially in multiple choice questions, whenever they mention all the points. For example, there are 3 or 4 options. So all the 4 options they mention in the conversation. So mostly listener, they just do one mistake, that whenever they listen the first one, directly they underline and they pick that one. So you should not do that. You have to listen to the answers and the questions carefully. Means you have to read the question and then you have to read the options. So whenever they are just using, or whenever they are mentioning the options, so be very careful. So means you should just point out the option, but do not directly write that in the answer sheet. So do not write your answers too quickly. Be very careful. During the test, try to complete all the questions because you will not lose marks for incorrect answers. Predict answer if you miss, because there is no punishment for wrong answers. Mostly students, they just, for example, if they miss 1, 2 or 3, so they just leave that blank. So you should not do that. You should write something. Maybe you will get that correct, and means there is no punishment for wrong answer. So you will lose nothing, and there are chances that you may get 1 correct answer, which will for sure enhance your band score. During the test, you have to focus and concentrate. Remember, you'll hear the audio once, so do not be panic. If you fail to listen some words and miss some questions, leave them and focus on the actual part. Mostly students, they do one mistake, that if they miss one means option or one blank or one question, so they're stuck there, and they just they're just thinking about that question, where they will not stop. The conversation will be in progress, so it means you must have to follow the conversation. For example, if you miss a question, you should leave that question. You should concentrate on the next part. If you do not concentrate, you will miss many questions, which will automatically affect your band score. Linking words. Pay specific attention to these words like however, but, then, and finally. It will clear what the speaker is talking about, because mostly these phrases, for example, if the person is talking about but, so it means that the first part of the sentence and the second part of the sentence, that is contrast. Understanding, so means you have to pay specific attention to these linking words. So if you do so, you'll be able, for example, if you have a command on grammar, so automatically if there is linking word, so you can predict and you can just point out the correct answer, that you can predict even your answer, that what the person is going to talk about. For example, if someone is using but and if someone is using and, so it's mean that you will get that for example, the first means part of sentence as well as the second part of sentence, which is connected with the help of but, so it's mean both part are contrast. So if they are connected with and, so it will not be contrast. So be very careful whenever the speaker are using linking words. You have to polish your topic vocabulary. Keep in mind, mostly section 3 is about education. So master various words relevant to higher education. It will help you to score higher in section 3. Mostly section 3 is relevant to education. So if you have command and if you have vocabulary relevant to education, you'll face no problem in section 3. And in section 3, mostly there are multiple choice questions. So if you have command and if you have words relevant to education, you will easily find out your answers. Proofread. What you'll have to do at the end, you need to proofread everything and double check your answers. This will help you to get maximum answers correct. Mostly students, they just transfer their answers means with no concentration, due to which means for example, if you want to even copy from a book, so means there are chances that maybe you will miss a spell or maybe you will just write that incorrect. So it means try to proofread, try to check your spellings, try to check that did I write in a correct way or not. So try to proofread means in the extra 10 minutes, means check spellings and means even that one, if there are sentences or if there are 2 words or 3 words, so you have to check that did I write correct or not. So means you have to proofread at least 2 times. Whenever you want to transfer answers, so you have to transfer your answers accurately. Keep in mind, at the end of the listening test, you will have 10 minutes for transferring your answers into the answer sheet. Write answers in the correct space number. Don't be in hurry that time. Mostly students, they are they get confused and they are too much worried, due to which they are writing. For example, if you just write one single answer in an incorrect space number, you will get all the coming answers means incorrect, due to which you will get less marks. So try to write the answers in the correct space number. And keep in mind, you can follow 2 formats. Means you can write all your answers in small letters, or even you can write all answers in capital letters. So means in order to get rid of grammatical mistakes, you can write in small or in capital letters. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.